Hi everyone! In this video, you're going to discover whether it's better to learn to code or design games. My name is Lauren, and this channel is all about showing you how to become a highly paid IT pro fast. Let's get started. In today's world, high technology jobs are on the rise. Not only are these jobs considerably high-paying, they also rank high when it comes to job security and satisfaction. According to Forbes, as much as 72% of all tech workers feel that they are satisfied with their job. There are many options if you are seeking a career in the technology space. The most popular, of course, is being a programmer or a software developer. This has led to a massive influx of coding boot camps and programming courses. Because of the rise of gaming culture, game design is also becoming very popular. So if you are considering one of these options, you may be wondering which path is better. In this video, we will talk about some of the key similarities, differences, and paths, so you can determine for yourself whether learning to code or game design is better. Key differences. Of course, there are some key differences between learning to code and game design in terms of the definitions for each role, as well as the scope of work covered. Roles and scope. First of all, learning to code means that you are a professional who is well versed in one or more programming languages in order to manipulate certain systems. This could be the front end or back end of a web application, the logic behind a database, the algorithms that are used by enterprise software, and indeed the logic behind video games. Because of this, you can easily surmise that programming covers a lot more fields than just gaming. When it comes to gaming, a programmer's code controls the dynamics, rules, and physics behind the game. For instance, using languages like C#, C++, and Swift. Game design is a lot more specialized. Each and every year, many video game development companies vie for the attention of gamers with their latest titles. When these titles are announced, gamers judge the games based on the quality of their graphics and the simplicity of their controls. These graphics and controls are primarily conceptualized by game designers. Their role, therefore, is to simply design a game that can attract modern video game players. Video game design also involves creating captivating stories, enthralling characters, curating difficulty levels, and everything in between. Career paths. Now that we have established the difference of the roles and scope of programmers and video game designers, the next important thing to talk about are the actual careers that you can achieve when you pursue one of these paths. Game design. If you choose the path of becoming a game designer, your job will be to identify trends in the gaming world and be able to create games that capitalize on those trends. Companies will hire you to create comprehensive game design plans and to inspect existing systems to see where improvement is needed. Companies will also hire you to innovate. The new genres that are becoming more popular in the video game industry are all because of the creativity of game designers. In the past, MMORPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as open-world action games like Grand Theft Auto were the most popular genres. Nowadays, survival-based battle royale games like Fortnite, PUBG, Apex Legends, and Call of Duty Warzone are taking center stage. If you feel like you have a great idea for a unique gaming experience, the path of becoming a game designer may be right for you. According to Glassdoor, the average salary of a game designer in the United States is around $73,631. Programming. An oversimplification of the career path of someone who has learned to code is definitely more variable than that of a game designer, because there are a lot of roles that you can take on when you learn to code, even those that involve creating video games alongside game designers. Think about it this way. Almost everything in the world today is powered with code. Your task as a programmer is to manipulate that code to accomplish certain tasks. That is why there are so many things that you can do that involve this function. For the sake of comparison, however, let us take a look at two of the most popular paths for people who are interested in learning to code. Game developer. Whereas a game designer is responsible for creating abstract and creative functions of a video game, your role as a game developer is to create the logic that actually runs the game. This is very important because without code, the designs created by a video game designer really cannot do anything. The programming language that you have to learn if you want to become a game developer depends on the type of system that you are making the game on. If you are proficient in C++, you can learn to develop games for Unreal Engine, which usually have incredible graphics that need a text-based, powerful language like C++ in order to run it. If you are proficient in C#, you can take on the role as Unity game developer. This is not as difficult as learning to program for Unreal Engine, and in most cases it is not as high paying, but this is the most ubiquitous type of game developer currently in terms of job opportunities, because of the sheer amount of titles that are being released using Unity. Because video game developers are specialized programmers, you can expect to make as much as $140,000 per year working for a big company. Full stack developer. If you do not exactly want to use your programming skills for video games, you can always become a full stack developer. Full stack developers are developers who have mastered a wide range of programming languages and frameworks to create both the front end and back end of a web application. Even though there are more people training to become full stack developers than ever, the demand for these developers is still a lot more than the supply of available workers. Typically, you will have to master HTML, CSS, JavaScript, as well as some front-end libraries and frameworks like jQuery, Bootstrap, and React.JS to become a full-stack developer. For the backend, Node.js, EJS, Express.js, and Django are some of the most popular technologies to master. Your income as a full-stack developer depends on the technologies that you have learned, both for front-end and back-end. If you know the React.JS framework, you are likely able to demand a higher salary, sometimes up to $200,000 per annum, including vested stock options and bonuses if you work for a decently sized company. Training and education. Even though there are specialized degrees for game design specifically, the best major in college is still computer science. With a computer science degree, you will have the technical and theoretical acuity to become either a game designer or a programmer. If you are in the process of switching careers and you do not want to go back to school, there are several courses and boot camps online that will teach you either game design or any programming language, as well as give you direct paths to becoming whatever type of programmer you want to be. In the past, companies have been snobbish about those who have gotten their training from online courses and boot camps compared to those who actually have computer science degrees, but you will find that that is no longer the case. There are more people employed in tech who have taken boot camps and online courses than ever. Why learning to code is important for game designers. If you have the time and the patience, it is always an option to learn both game design and to learn how to code at the same time. Even if your mind is set on becoming a game designer, learning how to code will still give you the advantage because of some key reasons. These reasons are the following. Game designers are at the mercy of code. When you are a game designer, it is fair to say that you are at the mercy of the code that runs the game. It is often not the programmers that have to adjust to the game designers. It is the game designers who often have to adjust to what the programmers are able to do. If you learn how to code, you will be more aware of the scope and limitations of the code that will actually be powering the game, so you will be able to make adjustments based on your understanding of these limitations. Scripting. Modern engines require some code. Remember we mentioned Unity and Unreal Engine as tools for game programmers earlier? In actuality, most companies today will require that game designers also know how to use these systems. If you want to design games using Unity or Unreal Engine, you will have to be familiar with a technology called scripting, which is very much like programming, but with a more limited scope. It's simple. A game designer who can work with Unreal Engine and Unity with scripting is more attractive to companies than game designers who don't, and you will be able to demand a higher salary if you are familiar with this technology. better access to game development tools, portfolio. If you want the best companies to hire you, you are going to need a very impressive portfolio. As a game designer that does not know how to code, you cannot create an impressive portfolio of independent games if you do not seek the help of a game programmer. Knowing how to code as well as design games means you get to build your online portfolio of games completely at your own autonomy. So, to answer the question, which is better, learning to code or game design, the answer is nothing is better and nothing is worse. It all depends on your own personal preferences, your goals, and how much time you have on your hands. Be diligent and patient with your learning, however, and you will be well on your way to achieving your next high-paying technology career. Check out the video on the right for more content to help you develop your IT career.